Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a really cool analogy for how we communicate with each other. And believe it or not, it all starts with a sound we hear every single day, the car horn. It turns out the way we use that horn says a whole lot about how we use our own voices. So let's kick things off with a question. Why do cars even have horns in the first place? Now, if you're thinking it's just for blasting the person in front of you when the light turns green, well, you might be in for a little surprise. Its original purpose was something completely different. To really get what the horn was meant for, we've got to rewind the clock. I mean, way back, long before cars were even a thing. You see, horns have been around forever. We're talking prehistoric instruments made from actual animal bone, all the way to metal horns in the Middle Ages. For literally thousands of years, their job was super simple: send a clear signal over a long distance. They were tools for communication, not for aggression. Okay, so keeping all that history in mind, what was the horn actually supposed to do once we stuck it on a car? This might be kinda hard to believe today, but the car horn was never meant to be a weapon for our road rage. Nope, it was designed to be a tool for safety and even for courtesy. You know, a gentle tap to say, "Hey, I'm over here," or a quick little beep to say, "Thanks for letting me in." It was all about keeping traffic flowing with a bit of respect. But we all know what happened. Somewhere along the way, that original, helpful purpose just got totally lost. The horn basically morphed from this useful little signal into a megaphone for our impatience, our anger, and our ego. And think about it, right? When someone really lays on their horn, it's almost never a friendly signal. It's usually followed by a shouted insult. Instead of actually communicating anything useful, it just creates a ton of noise, pushes people away, and completely kills any chance of real understanding. And this is where it all clicks. Because this whole thing isn't really just about traffic. It's about how we get through our own lives every single day. So here's the big idea. Every single one of us has a metaphorical horn. It's our voice, it's our tone, it's even just our general presence. And we are using it constantly. And just like that car horn, we can use our voice in two totally different ways. When we speak with purpose, with a little kindness, our words can actually guide and connect people. But the second our ego gets behind the wheel, our voice just becomes noise. Loud, demanding, and honestly, just exhausting for everybody around us. Which brings us to this really fundamental choice we have to make every single time we speak. What's the real why behind the sound we're about to make? Well, the first option is wisdom. And true wisdom isn't just about what you know or what you say. It's about knowing when to say nothing at all. It's that understanding that not every single situation needs a loud reaction. A wise person uses their words with intention, kind of like a skilled driver who only uses their horn when it's absolutely necessary. There's this ancient piece of wisdom that just nails it. Controlling that impulse to react, to honk emotionally, that's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of deep understanding. But let's be super clear about this. This is not a call to just be passive and quiet all the time. Wisdom doesn't always equal silence. Sometimes the most courageous and important thing you can do is raise your voice. And right here, this is the key difference. The sound that comes from ego, it's all about overpowering someone else, about winning the argument. But the sound that comes from courage, that's about uplifting others, defending the truth, protecting someone, or standing up for what's right. The motivation behind the sound is completely different. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do this? How do we become more mindful communicators, on the road and in our everyday lives? It really all starts with compassion. In a world that's already so noisy and, let's face it, pretty hostile sometimes, we just have to remember this. That person we're about to honk at, whether it's with our car or with our words, is carrying their own stuff. We have absolutely no idea what they're going through. So it really boils down to this simple 3-step practice. Before you react, just slow down. Then take one single conscious breath. And finally, choose to speak with a clear awareness of what you're trying to do and the impact you're about to have. Because at the end of the day, whether you're behind the wheel of a car or in the middle of a tough conversation, it's not the loudest person who gets ahead. It's the one who uses their horn, their voice, with precision, with good timing, and with just a little bit of grace. So we'll leave you with this one thing to think about. The next time you feel that urge to just react, the next time you open your mouth to speak, Just ask yourself, am I about to make a signal or am I just making noise?